So Jack Jones has had a pretty interesting career so far. So he was someone who was in the 2022 draft, was drafted in the fourth round by the Patriots, who played really well. And Patriots fans were pretty excited about getting kind of a steal in the draft, which is something they've gotten used to with Belichick and defensive backs. However, kind of unceremoniously last year, he was the Patriots got rid of him, and I think people were confused as to what happened. There doesn't seem to be anything too nefarious or anything like that. In fact, he even said, like, I'm not going to blame it on the coaching staff or anything. It just wasn't the best fit, which is a, interesting answer. We don't really know exactly what happened there, but the Raiders seem to be pretty happy to have him, as in a small sample size, he didn't play a ton for them, only a few hundred snaps. He looked really good for them, though, and I think he could be a really good player for them moving forward, and that's what I wanted to discuss in this video. It's more of his on-field stuff. So, yeah, before we get into all that, just wanted to mention, I do have a movie channel. If you like movies, you can check that out. It's Jackson Kruger Movies. The link is in the description. So, yeah, if that seems like your kind of thing, check it out. But anyway, let's just get into the Jack Jones film. Let's start off with this play, as it honestly might be my favorite play I've seen from Jones. So the way it works is that, you see where he's supposed to cover. He is the guy closest towards the bottom of the screen, covering deep towards the offense's right. That's his area. But the route that the Broncos are going to go with here is kind of not really related to where Jones is at all. That is the route. So you might be wondering, well, why am I showing this play then if it's a route completely away from Jones, one that he couldn't realistically get over and have an impact in? Well, a couple of things. For one thing, there isn't really a route that's going to get into his zone. And so because of that, when this play begins, he kind of just reads the play and makes sure he tries to get over and potentially cover somebody. With there being an opening here, actually maybe a bit of a blown coverage down the field, definitely this could be a touchdown. But Jones has read this play well enough, and it's just, again, trying to get in position to make something happen. As the old expression goes, don't cover grass. Make sure you do your best to cover somebody. And also, when this ball is just a tad bit underthrown, Jones is able to get over there and knock that one away. Sure, if the ball was thrown a little bit further down the field, it would have been a touchdown, but that wasn't Jones's fault. Jones shouldn't have really been in position at that point. Jones was on the other side of the field. He just read the play well and has the quickness to get over there and make the play. He also has stuff like this, which I think is, definitely one of his better attributes. So the zone he's covering is the, kind of outside the numbers area toward the bottom of the screen, that white zone that you see. And there's a route that's going to be in his zone. So, okay, pretty simple. Sometimes football is complex and you have to figure out, really who you're supposed to cover. And there's a lot of different stuff going on. Sometimes it's just, hey, cover the guy in front of you. That's what's happening here. Well, when this play begins, you see that right here. Okay, we know the route that this receiver is running, right? He's going to cut more over the middle. But Jones, of course, does not know this. So with I would say a pretty good move right here, Jones could get frozen and there could be a window for this ball to be thrown to. However, you see that the second the receiver cuts in, Jones is kind of all over it. This was just not a route that you can throw to. And you might be sitting here saying, well, who cares? The ball went in a different direction. And okay, the reason, obviously, that you care is because you didn't know the ball was going to go in a different direction. But also, if you can cover guys up like this, well, then it kind of lets everyone else know that, like, hey, this is not, when you watch on film, hey, you can't really beat him on these types of routes, so maybe don't try it as much. But also stuff like this, more deep routes, these are kind of issues as well to try and beat him on, even though he's not the fastest corner. And if you watch my pre-draft evaluation of a lot of players, usually I'm very particular about cornerback speed. I want a fast corner. That's just typically a good strategy. It would, of course, be foolish to say that just because he ran a 4.5, that means that he is unworkable at the NFL level. It just means there's less margin for error. If you get a step out of position, you can't come back, so you have to make sure you don't get that step out of position, which can be a danger on go routes. However, when this play begins, you're going to once again notice that, again, he's just not getting himself out of position. There is, the Broncos player is technically past Jones on this play, but not by any meaningful amount to where a throw, even a perfect throw, would work. Not to mention there is safety help, so it's not the end of the world even if he were to be more out of position. Because of this, Jones hangs the rest of the way, and even when the receiver stops, Jones is still able to stop with him and doesn't get out of position that way, because that's also how you can get burned. So definitely, the fact that he is just so good with his feet is what makes him an effective player. Now, I do think there are some moments that I don't love. Something like this, for example, you see who he's supposed to cover. It's a one-on-one matchup right here. So, okay, simple enough. But also the situation is just as important to me. This is a 3rd down and 8 situation. So 8 yards just can't happen. You got to make sure you don't do that. Really, you don't want to give up like 7 or 6 either, though, because that creates a potential opportunity for going for it on 4th down. You want to force them to punt here if you can. So you definitely want to make sure that you can give up some yards, just not give up too much. But to me, when this play begins, you see Jones, look at how quick he's bailing out. This is something he would do pretty occasionally, and I do wonder if some teams are going to, maybe next year notice this and kind of start forcing the ball in that area quickly a bit more, because he will bail very quickly. And in a situation like this, if the ball quickly went over there, I think it could have resulted in a 1st down. That isn't what happened. Ended up getting a sack instead. Good job by the Raiders defensive line on that play. But still, that was something where I would be a little bit, I think that he maybe needs to be a little bit less quick to bail on specific plays. Part of it is just a speed thing, but still, that is something that I noticed on film. And let's be honest, I'm just a guy sitting in sweatpants watching film and making YouTube videos. If I can notice it, certainly NFL teams can notice it. Also, something like this, I think, is really where he shines. I would say this is definitely something we have to talk about here, where you see the matchup, one-on-one matchup, that's not even really the most important part of this play. Although still, you see that when this play begins, he, covers that guy perfectly. Well done, good job. But what I really like about this play is that, so this isn't where the ball is going. That is where the ball is going. You have a halfback going into flat. And I really like how Jones, I feel like he just has a really good awareness of the field. He has really good field vision. Watch when, this ball is flipped to halfback. Jones did nothing on this play. He didn't even, I don't think, touch the halfback. I think he only touched one of his teammates once he went there. So, he did not make that play in the slightest. But on this type of situation, it shows just his good vision and the fact that he is in position to make these kind of plays work. Again, there's not a huge sample size of him, but the stuff you do see, to me, tends to be pretty overwhelmingly good. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Jones as a player. Like, the film is really good. It's not perfect, but it's very good. And I don't think that he left. It doesn't seem like he left because he's like a locker room cancer. I don't think. And it also doesn't seem like he left because he is bad at football. So for the Raiders, it kind of seems like that's perfectly what you would want. Again, I'm not saying there hasn't been any issues. And also, with the Patriots, he didn't play particularly great when he was with them, but looked really good with the Raiders. So I don't know. It's an interesting situation. But yeah, I think he's probably pretty happy that he's with the Raiders, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.